Hi all, Hipper here, and welcome to this video here on how to get started in Skull and Bones. And the game has finally come out after what is pretty much getting close to a decade of waiting. And first impressions, I'll put that in the video as well. It's good. It's not perfect, but it's good. It's a solid game, I think. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, right? Because there's going to be a lot of content on Skull and Bones coming on this channel here. Because there's really only one game like this in the world, and it may not be perfect, but it's all we got. And I can tell from the first few hours here with the game that there's definitely a lot of stuff to uncover, and I think it's going to be quite an interesting game to do videos on. So like I said, in this video I'll take you through the kind of tutorial section here in the beginning, and I'll give you my initiate thoughts on how this game performs, how it looks, and if I'm satisfied with what I've been waiting nearly 10 years for. And the tutorial is pretty simple. You learn how to steer your ship, how to make it go faster. You don't actually learn how to make it slow down, which is strange, but yeah, who knows. All you gotta do really is just sink enemy ships. And this tutorial section isn't really explained very well, I thought, because I just kept sailing around sinking enemies, and it wasn't really clear at any point how many I had to sink, or even if I was doing the right thing. Because at some point, like, a bigger ship shows up, and the game tells you, oh, this is the guy we need to sink. So okay, well, I start shooting this guy here, and I have been shooting this guy for a long time, and like I said, I started to think, am I doing something wrong here? Like, am I supposed to shoot at the sails, or am I supposed to ram him, or what is going on here? First impressions on the combat is that it is a little bit floaty, a little bit arcadey, and I mean, that's fair enough. I was kind of expecting that from the game, but maybe it'll get better as I progress in the game. But like I said, I keep shooting and shooting and shooting at this guy here, and I'm going to skip a little bit of this shooting gallery here until the point where stuff actually starts to happen. And as you can tell, you can actually leave the map just like in World of Warships Legends as well, which is it's a familiar mechanic. A little bit disappointing, I think, because I was kind of hoping for a real open world game, but I'm supposing that this is just because it's in the tutorial here. They don't want you sailing off to Africa or anything like that. Anyway, still shooting at the ship here, and like I said, this goes on for ages, so don't despair if you cannot sink this guy here, because apparently you're not supposed to, because the tutorial ends with the enemy sinking you all of a sudden, and that's apparently what's supposed to happen. So well, yeah, go figure. It isn't really explained very well, but anyway, after that you will enter the character creator. Now, we've been spoiled by Baldur's Gate 3, so, unless you want to look like the streamer Asmongold, like this guy here looks strangely like, you can, spend time in this creator and choose your skin color and whatever you want, your body size, but it's nowhere near, the luxury you get in Baldur's Gate 3, which again is fair enough. This is a ship game. After all, it's not really a role-playing game, not as such anyway. Alright, once you're happy with your character, you're thrown into the game, really. And as you can see, you are joined by other players on the map, which is, actually kind of cool in this game here. There's a few weird things going on with other players, and I'll get into that later, but it's not a bad thing anyway. So you get to obviously run a few errands here. Actually, you only get to run one errand here in the beginning. This is still the tutorial section, right? You're learning the absolute basics, and so far I haven't even touched land at all. So one of the first things you are asked to do is really just to show you that mechanic, and it is just to approach a beach and press the disembark button, which then allows you to actually walk on land if you could stop your ship, which I still haven't figured out what to do. So it's a nice addition to be able to walk around, and if you notice something happening to the frame rate here, I will explain in a minute, because I was getting really sick of the actually pretty poor frame rate in the quality setting. So I highly recommend that you change that setting, and you just do it by going into the options. Really, there's nothing new about this. go into the graphics section, and then choose the performance mode over the quality mode. I find it definitely worth it, and the game is just so much smoother, and the graphics, like I said earlier, aren't really that good anyway, so you don't really need the quality mode, right? And anyway, it's up to you, but that's my preference. Another thing I quickly got really tired of was the really slow camera. So I personally like a pretty quick camera, so I turned the sensitivity all the way up to 100 for both axes, and even then I find it a little bit slow, to be honest. But anyway, that's just a little quirk of mine. So back to the little task here we're on, where we're supposed to pick up some salvage somewhere. And while I was doing this, I kept getting attacked by sharks, and the game doesn't tell you how to fight back. But so at some point I realized, oh, okay, you just do it the same way as you do with a cannon when you have cannons equipped. Now, okay, that might seem like it makes sense, but in the heat of the moment, it wasn't very easy to figure out, and I could use a little help there, Ubisoft. But okay, whatever. Anyway, that's why this video is here, so you don't have to suffer the same confusion that I did. And once you finish your little task, it's really about the time where the real game kicks off. One of the last things the game will introduce you to here in the tutorial area is apparently there's mini games in this game here, and they seem weird because I never figured out what I was doing wrong here, because the whole area is yellow and I'm supposed to hit the green area, but there is no green area. So whatever, like I just did it wrong a million times, and in the end the game just let me into the shipwreck anyway. So yeah, I don't know if it's a bug or I'm just totally not getting it here, but in any case that was strange. So again, on foot here inside the ship, and all you have to do is find a map. It takes 2 seconds to get to the captain's quarters, and you will pick it up very easily. So before you leave, you can have a little fun with the cannons here, and when I say fun, it also took me a little bit of time to figure out, okay, how does this work? And I suppose that's why they are there. And as you can tell, the game is quite arcadey here, and also shooting stuff. It's not as intricate as in, for example, other games like, let's just say, World of Warships Legends again here. Like, you shoot at something and you hit it, and it seems to be the same thing with ship combat. There's no broadsides to worry about or anything like that. It's at least not yet. So far, it's pretty simple. So anyway, once you finish that, you sail into the sunset, and you are leaving what is the first tutorial area here, and you are on your way to the actual port that will actually kick the game off in earnest. So what are the first impressions? Well, I mean, yes, the game shows its age, both in the graphics, in the mechanics, and the general feel of the whole thing. And if you look closer at your character, he also looks a little bit dubious here. Not at least his hair and beard looks, yeah, a little bit, early 2000s. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna cut this game a lot of slack because one, the core mechanics seem fine. The fact that I've been waiting for this for 10 years, and the fact that it is the only game of its kind out there, I mean, it gives it quite a bit of leeway, and I'm happy to just let a few things slide that I wouldn't, have, considered in other games. So is it worth buying? Yes, I think so, definitely. You're not gonna get state-of-the-art or quad A game like Ubisoft says it is, but it's definitely a solid game, and it's going to provide you a lot of fun because there's both multiplayer and there is single player in it as well. So if you get tired of sinking people or getting sunk, you can always dig into farming for a new ship or anything like that. So stay tuned, lots of videos coming. This was just the beginning, so see you out there.